Hello, everybody. I've been fielding a lot of questions on the Duolingo Educators Network about my battle plan for using Uno to teach numbers and colors. So I thought I would just make a little recording. So first of all, we need to talk about the affective filter, why I do this. The affective filter is that little voice in your head that says, oh, I'm going to sound so stupid if I say arre out loud. Oh, I'm going to sound so stupid if I try to say whatever out loud. I better not just even say it, and therefore no one is going to laugh at me. And so the student shuts themselves down before they even try. And we all know they have to try or they're never going to learn, right? There are, I tell my students, 3 crucial things for success in learning any language. And I have them guess. So what's the first one? And eventually somebody will say, repetition. Repetition is important. Repetition is the key to success. And I'll say, okay, what's number 2? And they'll guess again. And then I'll say, repetition is the key to success. And they'll say, what's number 3? And of course, number 3, repetition is the key to success. So the trick is, how do we get our students to keep repeating things over and over in a way that's not drill and kill boring, right? What I love about games is that the differentiation is built right in, and you will see this as I'm describing this game. The students that aren't very confident are going to put down a card and they're going to name the number and the color, and that's great. That's what you want them to learn. The students that are more confident are going to be shouting at each other. They're going to be saying, I don't have any yellow. They're going to say, it's your turn. They're going to say, I can't believe you did that to me. All right, so that's how you build in your differentiation. So step 1, you got to teach the numbers and colors, and you're going to have to teach it outside of Uno to make Uno successful. Okay, so for what I do for the numbers is I have a game I stole from a colleague who teaches drama. And this is Just Keep Swimming. So she wants her students to be aware of each other on the stage. So she'll just kind of be singing, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And then she'll shout out a number. And the students have to glom onto that many other students. Okay, so if she shouts out 3, they have to get in groups of 3. If she shouts out 6, they have to get in groups of 6. If she shouts out 1, then they can't be touching anybody. So I stole that for my language classes, and I'll either sing Sigue nadando, or I'll sing nage, nage, or whatever, for whatever language I'm teaching. And the students love this, but it's a quick way to teach the numbers. And then if my thing works, there we go. For the colors, I teach them in context, usually using a little TPRS, Teaching Proficiency Through Reading and Storytelling. And this is a story that we started off the year with. I had the students choose a character, Project World character, and a school supply, and then what was the color of the school supply. And so they're seeing that all in context, and they're having it repeated 100 million times. So by the time we're ready to play Uno, they know 4 colors, and they know the numbers 0 through 9. Oops, that went back. There we go. So now go to your PTSA and say, hey, I'd like to buy a bunch of Uno decks. And your PTSA is going to be more than willing to either reach out to parents and say, hey, you got an Uno deck collecting dust, or they're going to help you fill out a grant form, okay? I know it's difficult for us teachers. There are ways to get the materials you need. So first rule that you have to tell your students is that every time they put down a card, they're going to have to say the number and the color. There's no point to this if they're playing it silently, right? So you're going to have some students who are afraid of talking initially. And my best advice to you is that put them in different groups, okay? Keep changing the grouping until you find a group where your shy students are going to feel comfortable whispering azul or owie, or just whatever that they need to say. Find a group for them where they feel comfortable. And then, this is very important, you have to impress upon them that if they don't say the number and the color, they're going to have to take another card. And what I love about doing it this way is that now the students are policing each other. So as you're walking around working the room, don't ever sit in the corner and read a magazine. You need to be working the room. As you're walking around, the students are helping you keep everyone in the target language. All right, so they're going to need to say Aside from the numbers and the colors, they're going to need to know either the word plus or take. Okay, so they can say +2, take 2, or +4, take 4. It's really nice if the students know I have or I don't have, but if you are not there yet, it's okay. They can still play the game without it. It's really nice if your kids can say, I'm sorry or I'm not sorry, but if they can't, that's fine. This is just day one. They're just doing numbers and colors. I give my students a cheat sheet. I put this on the board so they can look over their shoulder at it at any point. Here's the one for French. Here's the one for Spanish. Here's the one for my Japanese students. And I also print it out and hand it to them because I don't have any problem with them having a crutch. Okay, I don't have any problem at all because I'm listening for the fluency coming out of their mouth. And they're going to need to know what these words are. So I don't have a problem with the crutch, and that's, again, how I build the differentiation in. The students that are really unconfident are looking at their paper, and the students that are really confident take the paper and shove it in their backpack, and they never look at it again, and it's fine. Notice there's no English on here. I told them even for Japanese, no romaji. I will not let them write romaji whatsoever. All right, so for the very first time playing, I allow the students to say skip, reverse, wild in English because I don't want it to be too much of a cognitive demand. And then the second day, now they're comfortable with their numbers and their colors. The second day, then I make sure that they know I have and I don't have because I feel like the cognitive demand, now they can handle it. And I add, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Some of the other students will have already insisted on learning this. Those are your high flyers. Great, they're ahead of the game. They're helping teach the students at the table because they're saying it constantly. All right, and then if any English is spoken at the table, the student has to take another card. Okay, that is the huge, most important rule. And then if the students are ready, introduce skip and reverse. And if they have a wild, they can name the color. If they're not ready, it's okay if they don't use those yet. You're laddering. For the third day, make sure they're policing each other for not speaking in English. Okay, now you can introduce skip and reverse and wild. And now you can start pushing them to use complete sentences. Okay, you put down the card, you're confident saying blue 4. Now you can say, I have blue 4. Now you can say, I have a 4, but it's green. So you can really start pushing them to the next level. As you're walking around, you can just be talking to them and they'll hear it. On the fourth day, this is what I call the shouty sentences. These are all the sentences your students have been begging you to learn. Your high flyers have already twisted your arm and you taught them how to say it. So they've been saying it for several days now. But now the rest of the class gets to learn them, okay? They need to learn it's your turn. They need to learn whose turn is it. Okay, so I started adding this one because my Spanish classes, we use Auténtico, the textbook, and one of the first things they learn is Me duele, and I realized, hey, I could throw that in here for a little bit of extra repetition on that, so they can start saying, oh, you hurt me, that kind of stuff. And my computer's acting wonky. I don't have any more. My French students can already do the ne plus as of the second week of school because of this. You're mean. They can call each other mean. They can say, shuffle the deck. They can say, I can shuffle, because they can already say, can I go to the bathroom? Why can't they say, I can shuffle? And they can say, here you go. And they can say, go ahead. And they can say, I win. Like I said, your high flyers have already been saying these things for 4 days now. So you're not really adding all that much. And your students who are not ready yet, it's okay. They can play the game without saying these at all. This will add a lot of color commentary to your game. On the 5th day, I just have a quick little formative assessment, not a summative assessment. The game is the summative assessment. Just a little formative assessment. Hey, how are you doing on these words? I give them this sheet, and they fill it out, and I just look over their shoulder as they're doing it, or I have them turn it in, and I say, okay, this student's still struggling, this student's got it. On the big day, when I give the test, I print up the students' names, and I carry it around on a clipboard, and I walk around the class, and I listen to them playing the game. And I warn them, if I hear English, it's an automatic flunk. Guess what? They don't want to flunk, so they won't speak in English. Perfect. If I hear it's not grammatical, you know what? I don't tell the students this, but I secretly don't care if it's not grammatical, because I just want them using the language. I just want them experimenting with the language. I just want them hearing it coming out of their mouth. So they think that they have to be grammatical, but if they are just getting so excited with the game and they're so invested in it that it comes out of their mouth wrong, I don't care. As long as everybody at the table understood them, hey, they passed the test. All right, so now I'm going to give you a quick 45-second example of this actually happening in class. What you're going to hear, you're going to hear two students who have IEPs. They're struggling in all their classes. One of them, I don't know if he's going to pass my class because he struggles so much. You will not be able to tell in the video that these are struggling students. They are so confident in their numbers and colors, and they even say a couple other things. All right, so I'm not even going to tell you which students they are. Just know that they sound like all the other students, okay? You're going to hear tons and tons and tons of middle-of-the-road students who are comfortable using the language. You're going to hear high flyers who are experimenting with the language. They're trying to take it to the next level. They're adding other sentences. They're shouting "me duele" because this is my Spanish class. They're adding a lot more description to what they say and what they do. And to me, the most important thing, you're going to hear everybody laughing. Everybody has fun with this test. When was the last time you gave a test that the students were looking forward to and that they loved? This is why I've gone so heavy into game-based learning. So, you know, when we're worried about social emotional learning after post-pandemic, look, it's built into every game you play. All right, so thank you for listening to me, and stay tuned for an example. Ask me questions in the comments.
L2 turn on, Dylan. Toma 4. Oh, no. Toma 8. Lo siento. Toma 8. Me duele. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Color. Color rojo.
No, that's too turtle, Leo.
Azul 1.
No tengo azul.
Azul 0.
Ocho azul. 1 azul. 9 azul.
Cero amarillo.
5 amarillo.
No tengo amarillo.